Sapp. He's going to be looking for his third win tonight. Super motivated during this rivalry game.
Excellent points, Nathan. Let's go ahead and look at the weight classes and matchups for tonight. So in the 106, Matt Benson is a sophomore, and he is 16-4 in the year for HSE. He's taking on Anthony Riley for Fishers.
We got Kyler Sapp, the freshman. He is 2-18 on the year versus Griffin Ingalls.
In the 120 weight class, it's Jake Simone, the senior, who went to state last year, is 18-3 on the season. He's taking on Preston Pritchett for Fishers.
We got Sam Krausor, senior, 1-1, just came back from an injury versus Zack Struder.
In the 132, we have Gage Lloyd, the sophomore, is 15-9 in the season. He's taking on Dylan Parodi.
In the 138 class, Jake Lemieux, the junior, he's 17-7. He will be facing Josh Thompson here tonight.
In 145, it's Reese Lumen, the senior, is 20-3 in the season. He's taking on Josh Lindemud.
At 152, we have Cam Roberts, the senior, 12-9 versus a game-time decision for Fishers.
In the 160 weight class, we have Ryan Cass, the sophomore, who is 16-8 versus Miro Bruvold for Fishers.
In 170, we got Ronan Heiner, the senior, 16-2 on the year, pretty good year, versus Curtis Kirschner.
In the 182 weight class, we have Max Broom, the sophomore, is 19-4 in the season. He's taking on Johnny Rubio.
195, we got Jacob Schneider, the sophomore. He's 11-12, and he's got a big matchup tonight versus J.D. Farrell.
In the 220-pound weight class, we have Devin Dudley. The junior is 13-8 on the season. He's taking on Wyatt Holly.
And finally, in 285, Andrew Eyrick, senior, undefeated on the year, 16-0, will be facing Max Cohn on the mat tonight.
Nathan, after we've looked at all of these matchups, what can we expect tonight? What do both of these teams need to do?
Well, Schneider versus Farrell is going to be an interesting one tonight. Schneider really wants to get this 12th win of the year, stay 500 on the year, but he will need to do that against one of the top in the state at the 195 class. A lot of people are very evenly matched in this whole match tonight, and it's going to be a pretty close one.
Like you said, Nathan, points are going to be at a premium tonight. If you can go ahead and get, obviously, more points than the other team, you're going to win, but those points come at a premium tonight. You have to get as many as you can. You can't take matchups off. You have to get as many points as you can. We're going to have a fantastic match tonight between the Tigers and the Royals. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the Mud Sock Wrestling match next on Southeastern Sports Network. But before we leave you, a word from our sponsors. Southeastern Sports Network is made possible by Sky Zone and Fishers this year. Come in and fly with them this winter. Sky Zone and Fishers off 121st Street, reminding you to have fun and fly safe. A big shout out to Sky Zone, who is sponsoring every broadcast for all three sports seasons this year for SSN. And SSN's winter sports coverage is brought to you by Jimmy John's on Olio Road. Jimmy John's provides freaky fast service in-store or through delivery. A big thank you to Jimmy John's for their support of Southeastern Sports Network. We'll be with you after the break. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back.
But it's still good. I think this is going to be it's going to be a good matchup.
I talked to Coach Probst before this match, and I asked him his expectations for it, and he said that we compete hard and win the Mudsock, and he said it's what we do. He said simple question, and honestly, he's correct in that that HSE and Fishers. I mean, these two teams do not like each other.
No, they do not.
They want to beat each other more than anything else on the season. This is the most important matchup for them, and they desperately want to beat each other, and that is that's really the defining factor here tonight.
Yeah, and of course you have to take in records for the rest of the season. Rivalries aside, this is a pretty even team. They want to get an edge on each other, so this win is definitely important for future.
I talked to Coach Probst about these two teams being similar, and he said that the team philosophy of both these teams are similar. He said we are a hand-fighting, single-legged team that throws in some finesse moves like slide-bys every once in a while. And he says you'll see our guys attack aggressively up and down the line with very few exceptions. Fishers isn't so different, but the team lacks some experience that ours has. Ultimately, I think that will be the difference. So we'll see if that goes ahead and comes to play tonight. Nathan, you think experience has anything to do with this matchup tonight?
Yeah, I think experience does. I mean, you guys face the seniors are facing each other probably for the third, fourth time. Probably seen them since JV days. So I think they definitely know their opponent. And if we're getting a senior against somebody like a sophomore, that's definitely going to make a difference.
Yeah, you have these two matchups. I mean, you have these matchups, and this is going to be a good one between these two. I look at some of maybe the heavyweight matchup. You get Andrew Eyrich versus Cone. That's going to be a good one. That one was very entertaining last year, and you're going to have that again. A good matchup. We already touched on Farrell and Schneider. That one's going to be a good one. You have two of the top wrestlers in the state here with Farrell and for Fishers, and then you go to HSE, and you're talking about Eyrich. So and then Simone's up there too. So it should be a good one.
Yeah, it's going to be Simone's up there and Griffin Ingalls for Fishers. I think they said 18th
or somewhere in there.
Yeah, for the 113th class. So definitely a lot to see here.
All right, so we have our first matchup of the night. We are going to start off with Jake Lemieux for the Hamilton Southeastern Royals versus Josh Thompson for the Tigers at the 138 weight class. Lemieux is 17-7 on the season. Thompson, a running back on the Fishers football team. So here we go, Nate. We're off.
Getting a feel. Busy gym tonight as JV is going on to the left.
But right now, they are just trying to figure each other out, I think, as an opponent. Both of these guys look pretty evenly matched, just trying to get an advantage. They're interlocked right now, just trying to find a way to get an advantage. Now they break apart, and they're going to go right back into it.
And here we go. Oh, and we got some movement, and there's the takedown. And that's going to be... It's going to be 2 points for HSE right there for Lemieux.
And Fishers is going to start in the down position. Thompson. And we're back at it.
He's going to try to get the escape here, but Lemieux's not letting him. He's holding them down pretty good here. Tries to keep him that way. It looks like he's trying to, he's just trying to prevent any escape here.
Lemieux has the advantage here. He has him in a hold that is going to be difficult for Thompson to get out of right now without too much more maneuvering. And that could lead to points for Lemieux because of Thompson's maneuvering.
Yeah, it very well could. Lemieux seemed to have the advantage this whole time. It doesn't look like Thompson can really get out of this right now.
Oh, he very close to having one shoulder blade touch. there for Thompson. When you get one shoulder blade down, it's not a complete out, but it's not good, and that is going to be an escape
for Josh Thompson.
Good escape there. I mean, I didn't think there was going to be an easy way for him to get out of it, but he got out of it pretty quickly, actually.
Yeah, he did.
And now Lemieux's going to push him out. And we're going to go right back to where we started.
18.2 seconds left in this first period and it's been pretty even here thus far. Lemieux's back up. Sorry, not Lemieux, excuse me. Thompson's back up, trying to get a feel for each other again. And it's going to be pushed out.
And there are 3.6 seconds left here in this opening period. And now if you don't know about wrestling, there are 3 periods. Whoever has the most points at the end of the 3 periods is the winner of that matchup, and those points go to overall points in the entire match. But if there is a pin, that ends it. So.
Yeah. And Lemieux's been pretty close to pinning Thompson on a few times here this second, but he's been doing really well.
I'm not really sure how many pins we're going to get tonight because these teams are so evenly matched. Like we said in the intro, points are going to be at a premium, and I think here you're going to try to have to get as many points as you can, and that's one of those things. As Lemieux there just wailed on Thompson's arm trying to get it off, and it worked. He was able to get him off of one arm off the ground, and now has him pinned to the mat. No shoulder blades though, so no points there.
Here we go. Thompson's fighting from the bottom here. He is not letting Lemieux turn him over. He's making him work for it.
Lemieux is getting somewhat close to turning him over.
Yeah, but Thompson's getting. He's got some resistance here. He's not letting down right now.
Last year at Fisher's, this matchup was fantastic. Not specifically Thompson versus Lemieux, as a
point for Thompson right there. So now we're tied.
All knotted up at 2 in the 138 weight class here. Jake Lemieux versus Josh Thompson. And Nathan, give me a little bit of the mindset of what these guys have going on right now when you're tied, and it's not a big lead that Lemieux had. It's 2-0 and now it's 2-2, but what kind of what kind of mindset do you have as a wrestler when you're going through that?
Well, we're about halfway through the second here, and this is when the endurance game really comes in handy. And they both want this win. They are very evenly matched. So what's probably going through their mind is just they need to. They're trying to find that one move that can take them down right now. And I think that's why you're seeing so much of like a stalemate when they're on their feet here.
Lemieux takes a power move to the ground, but now Thompson has the advantage on Lemieux.
Yeah, and Lemieux's gonna
not get the escape, but they're both gonna go out, and we're gonna reset in the center. Still tied 2-2 with 11.1 seconds left in the second period.
So here you go. Like I said, it's going to be an endurance game here. They're going to, really try to find that big move. One of them eventually is going to let their guard down and get weaker. So they just got to look for that, as Thompson is going to start on top here on the third.
Now, if Lemieux can get out of this, that's a point for escape. It's big, and Thompson may be having Lemieux in an interesting position here. What a lot of these matchups I think are going to come down to tonight is who wants it more.
Oh yeah. This one is a great example of that. This is a total who wants it more right now.
And both of these guys are fighting hard. You can see it when you get a shot of their face. Zack Vance with the excellent camera work. You can see just the grimace on their face. They both want this so badly, just to beat the other and get points for their team. This team is very close, as Coach Probst said, and now they're going to go ahead and restart here as coaches on the HSE side are giving Lemieux a little bit of coaching here for the last minute and 10 seconds left here in the third period.
And here we go. Thompson starting on top once again. This is very similar to how we started the second period, except it's exactly the opposite people. Now Thompson is looking like he's got the advantage here, trying to get this off, but it's still a 2-2 tie.
But really, if Lemieux can escape here, that could, the way this match has gone, and with only about 40 seconds left, that could be the winning point.
It could. 40 seconds left. An escape could very well be the last point you see here.
Oh, here we go.
And here we go. He has not earned a point. Here we go. He's going to try.
Lemieux is in position possibly for the pin.
Teammates encouraging him. Here we
go.
go.
He can get it. He can get it if he can do it. And
it's going to be a pin. It's going to be a pin.
Jake Lemieux. There we go. Very, very pumped up there. And the sideline is electric. Andrew Eyrich, very happy about that one. One of the team captains, very excited for that one. And Jake Lemieux is going to go ahead and put 6 points on the scoreboard for Hamilton Southeastern there with a pin in the third period. And like you said, Nathan, Thompson just wore out, and that was what ended it for Thompson.
Yes, it did. That's exactly what ended it there. He had the advantage. He thought he could win, and Lemieux kicked in that strength. It's an endurance match sometimes, and that's what it takes.
Now we're going to have Josh Lindemud and Reese Lumen facing off against each other. This one should be another good one, as Reese Lumen on the season is 20-3. Very impressive record so far this season for the senior.
There we go. Starting out. And Lumen's starting out pretty aggressive here.
I think at this point, once you see how Lemieux started, that's a huge momentum build for this team. You have that energy, you have that that momentum that you're going to ride the wave as long as you can. And it looks like Lumen has Lindemud in a position he does not want, and Lumen's going to go ahead and get 2.
Yeah, that was a good move there.
And 1 there on the escape.
This is going to be this is already a scoring. Here we go. And they're going to line back up here, push them out.
Last year, these two faced off at Fishers High School, and this was one of the most entertaining matchups of the night. This one went into the very final seconds of the third and was a fantastic matchup between these two.
Yeah, I believe it. It looks like they're pretty evenly contested so far.
Lumen has really come into his own this season. Like I said, a 20-3 record. That's nothing to scoff at, Nathan.
No, it isn't. He's doing a really good job here. Lumen, of course, 20-3. I think he's going to be looking to get into those rankings soon for his class. It would definitely help with a win here. Keep feeling it out. It's been a game mostly on their. It's been a match mostly on their feet at the moment. Not a whole lot of action on the ground. We'll see if that changes though.
Coach Brobes did say this is a hard hand fighting team, and we've seen in the 2 matchups a lot of hard hand fighting. So Brobes is true to his word based on what he said, and based on what he said about Fishers, the scouting report reigns true.
Yeah, it does, and this is definitely they're going to try to get an advantage with the hands. They use the hands as another weapon against their opponents, and that's an amazing tactic here, as he's going to sprawl out and.
That's going to be the end of the first with a 2-1 advantage in favor of Reese Lumen. Now as we start the second. Lumen will start in the down position. Lindemud will start up. So Nathan, I know maybe some of our audience has never really watched high school wrestling before. What's kind of some things you think they should know about what we're seeing here on the mats, other than 2 guys wrestling each other?
This is a sport truly like no other. It's not football. It's not basketball. This is not really a team sport. It is individual people competing for a common goal, and it's you gotta rely on each of your teammates, but in a different way. They got to get their job done, so you can get your job done. And it's a high endurance. It takes a lot of strength, a lot of toughness to be out there on those mats. And these guys work really hard. They don't want to let themselves or their team down. It's a very big source of pride for them.
As Lumen's in a position I don't think he wants to be in, pressed up against the mat there by Lindemood.
Yeah. Lumen's trying to fight out of it here, but Lindewood is doing good.
And he had it there for a second, but not quite able to break the grasp of Lindemood. And if I was Reese Lumen, I don't know if I may try to go ahead and take this one out so you can restart here, because what you don't want is to be thrown to the ground to end this thing.
Yeah, you don't want to be thrown to the ground to end this thing, but at the same time, there's 30.
And that's exactly what happened. They take him out. A good move by Lumen, you think?
Yeah, I think that was a good move. There's 7 seconds left in this second, but he's gonna want to get points here, but it's most likely he just wants a fresh start here because he's shown that he can't compete with them.
And that's a point for Lumen on the escape.
Great job by Lumen. Just used his speed there to get out of there.
Yeah, this is a live to fight another set type of match between these two teams. And these two have shown that, as there's a 3-1 lead in favor of Reese Lumen here. Lumen just trying to use the speed as an advantage, but Lindemood is good on his feet. He's able to explode out of his breaks and able to make moves that Lumen may not be expecting. But on the same side, you have the same thing with Lumen, as that's the end of the second period.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. And this is very similar to our 138 matchup with Lemieux and Thompson. It really seems like they are just going all the way here.
As Lumen has a fast start there, getting Lindemood on the ground.
Yeah, and this is, of course, the third period is where endurance is key. This is it takes a lot out of you those in those first two periods. So it really is a struggle to live to fight here.
And it is both muscular and cardiovascular endurance here.
Yeah.
And that's going to be a point for Lindemood as Lumen had a penalty there.
Yeah.
And was favored a point to Fishers. But still a 3-2 lead for HSE. HSE's Reese Lumen, and a 6-0 lead overall for the Royals. And that's a point for Lindemood. And now we're tied 3-3. Just the speed they're able to get out and escape.
Oh, yeah.
Before Lumen could really even think about what to do, just the speed of Lindemood able to explode out of his break.
Yeah, and Lumen just did the same thing earlier. I mean, he just sped out of his escape to the point where they're like, what happened?
And that's 2 points there for Lumen on a great move where he's able to go ahead and take out the legs from under Lindemood. And he's able to go ahead and now have him in a favorable position for Lumen.
Here we go.
I feel like a lot of these sets tonight are going to go into the third period just because, like we said, the nature of these two teams. I see there could be a lot of third period. And like what you're saying, I can see Lindemood, and he is getting tired. He's getting tired
out there. Yeah, I think he was
maybe a little bit more physical than he was expecting, maybe a little bit faster pace, because really at these middle classes you can have the best of both worlds. You can have the speed that you would get in like a 106 class, but you can also have the physicality they're going to get from the heavyweights like Andrew Eyrich, like we're going to see later. You have both the speed and physicality in these matchups, which makes these smaller class or these middle classes so exciting. Because it is so. Oh, here we go, and they're gonna call that out. But Lumen was had a very favorable advantage there for a bit there.
Yeah.
Almost pinned him. Almost had a chance if he was fast enough to jump on it and push him down. He could have.
He was getting up. He learned his lesson and tried to keep him down as he's doing here. He's not letting him escape.
because you just got to hold on to this lead at this point. You have a 2-point lead, unless he has 2 big escapes or something miraculous happens. With only about 15 seconds left, there's a good chance that Reese Lumen can hold on and win this thing.
Yeah, and it looks like he's going to do that here. We got less than 10 seconds left.
Hold on, wait a second.
No, and there's the escape.
It's going to be an escape, but only 2 seconds left, and that's going to be a 5-4 victory in favor of Reese Lumen. And HSE is going to extend their overall lead, and Reese Lumen will advance to 21-3 on the season.
Definitely helps them, and that of course helps this team here. That was a big victory. And here we go. We got a
9-0 lead overall, and now Cam Roberts is on the mat going up against Zack Willard for the Tigers. Roberts, the senior, is 12-9 on the season. Last year fought hard but got pinned in the end of this matchup against Fishers, and he wants this one. I was talking to him earlier this week, as Cam and I know each other outside of wrestling, and he was saying that he desperately wants this win, and he wants this more than anything all season.
It's a rivalry, man. It does something to people. And of course, this is going to be his last Mudsock. He's a senior.
He went to regionals last year and put up a strong performance there, and that's 2 points there for Willard, as Willard gets off to the early lead. I think what the HSE coaches are trying to tell Cam is to get down more to the ground, as he's been up a little bit more, and that's a point for Roberts on the escape.
Can get up. It's been pretty even here. Willard started out strong, and now Roberts is fighting back a little bit, really making him work for his points if he's going to do it.
And a lot of that, I mean, you may think, oh, you're not going to get any points from that, but that speed and the explosiveness will wear a guy out. It's kind of like running the football. In football, I mean, if you run the ball and you go ahead and you just wear out your opponent, you can really get them. But this is not a favorable position for Roberts necessarily right now.
No, it isn't, and he's probably going to try to hold on to this as long as he can, try to turn around here. But
oh, this is not good for Roberts.
Yeah, he's got his legs, so Roberts has got his legs, so he's definitely trying to work to get out of this. And it looks like he almost tried to take him down there.
He had a one leg, and he's getting a little bit of an advantage. If he can, it's going to be out.
He's going to get some advice from coach there. Roberts is going to get back in.
There's a nosebleed on the JV side, which is what they're cleaning up the mat over there, as there was a nosebleed on the JV side of the world. But here on the varsity side, we have Roberts with only 18 seconds left here in this first period, and that's going to be 2 points for Fishers as he extends the lead 4-1.
Yeah, and Roberts again not in this position. It looks like Willard, he's a fast attacker. He's going to come right at you and try to get you down right away, and try to keep you there, so he can't get back up. That's some people just like to wear their opponents down. No, he just likes to attack them like that.
And Roberts is very much a speed guy, but this is both of these guys are playing towards their strengths here, as we've seen. But by no means is Cam Roberts out of this one.
No, this is a long match. I've seen.
As there he gets 2 points, he's right back in at 4-3.
Yeah, I've seen
just a fast attack there, like a spider monkey exploding out of his stance, able to go ahead and really attack there. Good move by Roberts.
Yeah, it looks like he's re-energizing, and so let's see if he can take the lead here, or at least tie it up here soon.
He's a guy who lives for big moments, and this is definitely one of those big moments here in his senior season.
And here we go. And that's going to be 2 for Willard.
So now it's 7-3. Roberts needs to close the gap once again. An escape would be big here. there's probably not enough time for him to just wear this down because there's 1:20 left on the clock. That'd be a long time of in this position on the ground.
Yeah. Yeah, it would be a long time. It's a,
Oh, that was not good there for a second. I thought Roberts had a chance to be pinned there. But if he can work out of this one, would be good. But this is not favorable for Roberts. And they're going to call. They're going to give Roberts a point, and they're going to say Willard gets a foul there. As the referee is telling Willard exactly what went wrong, as the Fishers coach not happy about the call.
I think he grabbed two sides of he grabbed his head by both hands, and of course that is a big no. You can't you can't do that in wrestling.
Just a safety issue.
Oh yeah, I mean broken necks, all that stuff can happen when that happens. So they call it right away.
7-4 in favor of Willard, but Roberts is going to need something big here to come back. Well, Roberts almost had an escape there, but quick work by Willard, able to go ahead and attack there. Oh, no, that's not good.
He's fighting, that's a pin.
As Roberts goes ahead and takes the defeat, Zach Willard goes ahead and will win this one and get some much-needed points for the Fishers Tigers.
And that's going to be Zach Willard making it 9-6 here. Pulling right back in. And our next matchup is going to be the 160 class. We got sophomore Ryan Cast against Jack Jones.
That was a hard-fought one there. All three have been very hard-fought, and I expect that to happen for the rest of the night. Ryan Cast is 16-8 on the season.
Just a little junior varsity update. HSE has got a commanding lead so far, 36-6.
Here we go. Cast and Jones are off. Cast with a little fake out there, got Jones to jump a little bit. So we were talking a little bit how wrestling is an individual sport. I mean, it's a team sport, but you do a lot of individual work, almost like swimming in that kind of regard.
Yeah, that's the best comparison. It's a physical, except it's a lot more physical, obviously, than that. It's it's definitely both individual and team, because I think there's two parts. You wanna have pride in what you're doing and win what you're doing, but you also want your teammates to win what they're doing. So this is there's a lot of cheers, all around, because, unlike track and unlike swimming, there's not a billion events going on at once. It's just this. So all the his teammates and their teammates can all watch, cheer him on, encourage him, and hopefully get some points for their team.
My point with that actually was going to be excellent analysis by you, but the point I was going for is that HSE had a lot of momentum going their way after the win from Lemieux and then Lumen. How much momentum do you think is lost by the pin of Cam Roberts there?
I think there's I think it brings a sense of urgency to HSE.
I mean, they still have the lead here.
Yeah, it still loses some momentum, but ultimately you're still up by 3. So, this is this makes Ryan Cast be a little more urgent with what he's doing, and that's what he is doing. I mean, he's got 4. It's 4-1 right now. Not even ending the first. He wants to get these points.
You just got to try to make as big of a cushion for yourself, so if endurance does play a factor into this, which it will because it's wrestling and endurance is a thing, you have that cushion to go back on. it's almost like in school, like this is our first week of school back, when you try to get as many points as you can in the first few weeks. So when you have your first test, you just in case you don't do well, you can go ahead and get stuff back. As junior varsity has been very heated so far. As Fisher's in the lightweight class, we have a Fisher's wrestler who is maybe having some mouth issues, and there's an HSE wrestler who is is throwing up. But back to the HSE side, and Ryan Cast, who has a 4-1 lead over Jack Jones.
He started on top here to start the second, and he has kept it going since. Doing a really good job here, just hanging in there for Jones, but I just Cast has been dominant this whole time, and really he's looking for a pin here. He's keeping him on the ground, trying to wear him down. He knows he's fighting to get up. He's going to keep wearing him down, and then at the right time, he's going to try to turn him around.
Wow,
here
he almost
and
had
pin
a
him.
chance.
There. And they are clearing
That's
it and
it.
pin. That's a pin.
Ryan Cast on the pin. He improves to 17-8 on the season. And the sophomore gets the pin for HSE. Add 6 to the scoreboard for the Royals. It is now 15-6. It's a big-time win there for Cast. He just kind of got off to a hot start and led the rest of the way.
And now we got our 170 class, Ronan Heiner coming in. And this is where you're going to start getting into heavyweight territory.
Ronan Heiner, who had maybe one of the most exciting moments last year when he picked up his opponent against Fisher and threw him. Ronan Heiner is a scary dude if you get him on the mats. He is one person on this team that I do not want to wrestle.
No, and you know his record proves it. 16-2. He's hard to beat, and yeah, and
right,
look
and
at
then
him.
in there you get 2 points right off the bat. Less than 15 seconds into it.
Yeah.
With almost as 1 point there for Fishers, and then it's going to be out. But Heiner has been one of the leaders on this team for the last 2 years in his wrestling, and you've really seen it. His dad, one of the assistant coaches of the team, Ronan has been a model of consistency for this team. Consistently winning, consistently pinning his matchups, and he's getting close to a state ranking.
Yeah, I mean, he's improved every single year here as another takedown for Heiner, just killing it right now. As he's working down here, he wants to get this done early. I mean,
he doesn't got all night.
No, and Heiner's interesting because, like I said, this kind of begins the heavier weight classes, and you're going to see a lot more physicality, but then I see Heiner come out with all that speed, picking him up.
If you can get that speed in the heavyweight matchups, and that's for any heavyweight, you can. It's really the inverse of what you're supposed to be. If you have that other, you're able to go ahead and have an advantage. So in the heavyweights, if you're able to have the speed, if you're in the lightweight and you have the power, both of those are a lethal combination if you have both of them together.
Yeah, they are. And look at Heiner.
Heiner has stretched out to a 4-1 lead over Fishers with 20 seconds left here in the first period. As Fisher just trying to get out of this one, but Heiner has an iron grip. We know in wrestling that grip strength is incredibly important, but you have been a wrestler in the past, Nathan. What kind of grip strength does it really take to be at this type of wrestling?
A lot of grip strength, especially at the wrists. It all starts, when I was in wrestling, they taught us, the first thing you need to do, get wrist control. And that takes a lot of strength because your opponent is going to fight back every single time. He's going to put up a lot of resistance, and you just have to power through all the pain, grab, wrist control, and that's how you start to, rack up your points, get takedowns. And of course grip and other. When you're down on the ground, you gotta keep your grip. I mean, your hand's probably going to be a little sweaty. It's going to be a little more slippery there, and he just has to hold on if you want to get the pin. Grip strength extremely important.
One of my cousins was a wrestler in Iowa for a while, and he told me that like one of the most important things when it comes to wrestling is grit and determination, just wanting it more than the other person. That's going to take you farther than most skill sets if your person does not have the same mindset as you.
Yeah. If you come in to the match, I learned this the hard way. If you come in thinking you're going to lose, probably going to lose. That's why there's not a ton of upsets in wrestling, because they see, oh, this guy's got this record. How am I going to be able to compete with that? And they beat you. If you come in thinking you're going to win, you're setting yourself up for a better chance to win.
Ronan Heiner now has extended the lead to 7-1 with 50 seconds left here in the second period. Domination so far from Ronan Heiner.
Yeah. Heiner's just, he's had him on the ground this whole time, and he's trying to push him. He's really working out this pin.
I saw a look on his opponent's face. Just he looked like he's like, can this just end? He is not happy with how this has gone so far. I mean, I wouldn't either if I was down 7-1, but
yeah. Well, I will say this. I've seen. Don't count them out.
No, we've seen stranger things happen here on Southeastern Sports Network in the past.
Yeah, and of course, when I was wrestling and I saw my teammates, sometimes I remember there was one particular match where somebody was down, I think by 9 points in the heavyweight, and it was a deciding match, and he got him and he pinned him in the third round after basically he struggled the whole time, but then. He got the pin, and it didn't even matter.
Just a sudden shift of momentum, and that's a thing that I think a lot of people don't recognize, that you can have as big of a lead as you want, but if you get pinned, it's all over. All your hard work is done. You've been pinned. Other team gets points.
Yeah, and 6 points. It's
a big margin. Now it's 9-2 in favor of Heiner, and that's going to end the second period here as we go to the third.
Look at that, Heiner. I think Heiner's frustrated for a different reason. I think Heiner, from what I've been seeing, he really wants to get him turned around, and this guy is not letting Heiner turn him.
He's putting up a good fight. I will go ahead and give him that.
Oh, yeah.
That against a very accomplished wrestler, you just have to kind of, hold on for the ride. And that's what he's done. He's held tough. He's not allowed to pin, which, ultimately would be big. But
yeah, I mean, if, in this state, if I'm going to be honest, probably not going to get a pin, especially since Heiner's got him on the ground again. But if you can avoid, him pinning you, and there's the escape there, another point, it's 9-3. If you can, hold on, that's huge, because if he can't pin you, they don't get 6 points. If you can just hold on, they're not going to get 6 points, and they're probably going to be a little frustrated with themselves for not getting said points. So, I think he's going for a different kind of victory here, kind of aimed towards the team, not letting them fall behind too much.
As Heiner now has him in a position, oh, that was very nearly a pin. If he could have gotten turned around just a little bit more, that I think that would have been a pin, Nate.
Yeah, I think, and Heiner really quick on that takedown. He went in for it, got him down, turned around. It just happened real fast, and Heiner, he works fast on the mat. And look at 35 seconds left. And he's really, really fighting here. He does not want Heiner to turn him.
He's just got to hold on for about 20 more seconds. But I think Ronan Heiner wants this pin. In his final mudsock, this senior really wants it. In the 170 weight class. With 6 seconds left, I don't think Heiner's going to get the pin, but he is going to go ahead and take the victory. 11-3, convincingly. Ronan Heiner gets points for the Royals in a victory over the Tigers, and HSE is going to extend their lead. That's big for the Royals.
Oh, yeah. You know, they didn't get the pin. Of course, we saw Heiner really wanted the pin. But, you know, he should be proud he kept him out of there, and it is 19-6. So I
you
mean,
get 4 more points. That's pretty good.
4 points, of course, you know.
Solid. You'll take any points you can get, like we were saying earlier.
Yeah, of course. And here's an interesting matchup. I'm really looking forward to this. Max Broom, he's a sophomore, 19-4.
Max Broom last year was very impressive in the few events we covered of wrestling last year for SSN, and this year he has been equally, if not more, impressive in his sophomore season. As a freshman, he was really competitive.
Yeah, this guy's got some talent. I am excited to see what he'll be next year when we're seniors. Unfortunately, we won't be able to see him senior year. When he's a senior, rather. But it'll be fun to see what he turns into next year. Maybe he's going to go for a ranked position even this year, maybe a top wrestler in the state next year.
And speaking of seniors, when I talked to Coach Brobes before tonight's match, he said that having 6 seniors in Andrew Eyrich, Jake Simone, Sam Krausor, Reese Lumen, Ronan Heiner, and Cam Roberts, having those 6 guys that compete that hard with each other in the wrestling room and then push the younger guys is an absolute blessing to the program. And he said it makes this year's team good and will help make next year's team good as well, as you're going to have a lot of seniors returning, as you're going to have a lot of juniors turning into seniors next year. You get Jake Lemieux in there. You get Devin Dudley. You get guys in JV right now who will move up to varsity. You have a lot of experience that will be there. And this year's sophomores, there are a lot of sophomores on this team that will turn into juniors. They become upperclassmen. They start turning more into the leadership role on this team. That can only help the HC wrestling program.
Of course. And wrestling, another way, it's not like too many other sports. It's not just a senior and junior thing. There's a healthy mix of sophomores in here, and we even have a freshman on varsity. And so
there were 3 freshmen on varsity last year.
Yeah, and that makes all the difference because then they're there. They're working against the best in the state already as, a 14-year-old. So a 14, 15-year-old, and so by the time they're a senior, these guys are probably
going to
have
4 years of varsity
state.
experience, yeah.
And, of course, the seniors in this class are great mentors, and the juniors, great mentors to those sophomores and freshmen. And it's always great to have a healthy mix of, different grades going in and out. As not much has happened. No points as the first period is coming to an end. It's been pretty physical, but nobody's been able to get an edge. It's just kind of been a stalemate.
All up. No, really no ground game so far.
No.
As it looks like Rubio is trying to go for a little bit of a leg attack there, but didn't quite work. It didn't quite have the time for that. Maybe if there was time, he could have gotten it into something, but not really much there.
Yeah.
In the first period.
All right, they look more aggressive coming out in the second period, though. And looks like Rubio started out. He wanted to go for the leg again, and
I think you just got to turn up the wick here. I mean, both of these guys are pretty evenly matched from what we've seen so far. Oh, there's a big move by Max Broom, and that may be that was very nearly a pin. But 2 points there for Broom as he has come up.
And another 2.
He has come up on a hot start here in the second period with a 4-0 lead. And I was talking to Coach Brobes, and I asked him what he did to prepare for this matchup against Fishers, and he said that we really don't prepare for other teams in a way that a football or basketball team might scout and prepare a defensive or offensive strategy specifically for a game against an opponent.
He's got Rubio and a
chance.
Here we go. And Broom is looking for the pin, and he's close. Oh, he turns over.
3 points there for Broom as he has a 7-0 lead with 50 seconds left in the second period, excuse me. As Broom is just overpowering Rubio at this moment.
Yeah, and
there could be a pin at any moment here.
Yeah, he was so close to a pin. I thought he got it.
I thought he did too.
And he's going to get a point. Rubio's going to get a point here for a violation on Broom.
But going back to what Coach Brope said, he said in wrestling you have a team philosophy, and if you know the other team's philosophy, you can kind of help prepare your guys for it. But it's really about improvising and imposing their philosophy over theirs. So with both of these teams being similar philosophies, he said that it was a different way to prepare because not a lot of teams have the same philosophy as they do. The hand fighting and the single-legged teams that have finesse moves, it's difficult to throw that in. So what you have to do is you're kind of competing against yourself in a way in preparation. So it's kind of what you've been doing all year, but it's almost like when you have a scout team, like you're playing up against your own defense, sort of.
Yeah.
In a way.
Yeah, I completely agree with you there. As the second period is going to expire 7-2 here, and Rubio, he definitely did a better job this second period than this.
Well, towards the end of the second period, first period, nothing happened for either side.
Oh yeah. This has definitely been an interesting one. I really thought Rubio was on the verge of getting pinned there. He was waving it down,
but the tides can turn so quickly on the mats in wrestling, as we've seen multiple times here throughout even tonight. And if you've watched wrestling for a long time, you know this. There are very, very quick changes in momentum in this sport, which makes it so entertaining.
Yeah, it does. And, you could be done for, and all of a sudden you can reverse them. And that makes all the difference. Now the momentum's with you. So he's just got to Rubio can still do that. He's just got to find the strength within himself to do so. As Broom's looking to turn him. He's trying, but Rubio's putting a good fight back as
he had a shot there.
Yeah, he keeps trying to maneuver, but anytime he's trying to turn him over, Rubio keeps getting a leg up. So
I think Rubio's just too strong for Broom to get that turnover that he wants.
Yeah, and of course, when you're on the ground like this, your main point is going to be to escape. What's really hard with this kind of pin is it takes a few minutes. It takes a minute to do, and if you don't do it right, he can get a leg up. He can escape. It's very risky, and that's going to be a point for Rubio.
Just strong defense here in the 182 weight class, 7-3 in favor of Max Broom. As I've seen a lot, actually, Jake Simone going over to the JV side, encouraging his teammates over there, while he's also been doing the same thing for varsity. So he's been very active, going to both sides of the mat.
Yeah.
Both sides of the gymnasium, both mats, making sure that his team is performing to their best. As a score update from JV, 51-18 in favor of HSE. They've very much extended this here, as there are 20 seconds left here in the third period, and Max Broom is getting close to his mud sock win, unless Rubio can pull a rabbit out of the hat here and get 4 points. It looks like Broom is going to hold on with 2 seconds left. That's going to be it for the third period. And in the 182 weight class, your winner is Max Broom, HSE.
HSE has won all but one match here tonight. Really doing a good job, as we are going to move to a big matchup. Jacobs Schneider for HSE and J.D. Farrell.
Number 4 in the state, J.D. Farrell. I know J.D. I know he wants to win this thing. He is one of the most competitive people I've met, and he wants to go ahead and maybe show the young Schneider a thing or two. Schneider's a sophomore going up against the senior Farrell. Farrell's had a lot of experience, and he has a genuine shot here. As it looks like this is not that matchup.
And they've they're saying it's 195 now. I think he's just checking in, but
Farrell is not. Farrell's on the sideline currently.
Oh, what is? Huh. Well, then I don't know. Yeah, it says 195 on the scoreboard.
Well, that's interesting. Maybe they moved Farrell up a weight class?
Possibly.
This is...
Did I... Wait,
I think
who's
this
up?
is Chris Jensvold, I think, for Fishers. Well, there's a little bit of confusion up here in the booth, but we do know Jacob Schneider for HSE. As Schneider is off to a hot start. On a little bit of a pile driver maneuver there, just trying to get him into the mat.
And here we go. And
wow, this one could be over very quickly.
Yeah. Now that Schneider's not against Farrell, he's probably been preparing for a top wrestler, and now he's not getting that.
Two-point takedown for Schneider as he has a 2-0 lead. And HSE has the overall lead 22-6.
Big lead to start out. And in JV news, we got a big lead for HSE as well, 51-18. Here we go. And Schneider is doing Schneider things right now.
Schneider doing Schneider things. I like it. As Jacob Schneider right now has...
This is an interesting
position. He has
position.
in an uncomfortable position currently.
Oh, and yeah. And here we go. And he's...
Oh, this is not good for Fishers. Schneider is kind of doing whatever he wants right now. And Fisher's just at the mercy of what Jacob Schneider can do, he was almost able to twist him down there.
Yeah, and Schneider's been dominating this whole period. Even if the scoreboard doesn't show it, he's just had a total control. Really working. And his teammates are signaling for him to turn him over.
If he can do that, that'd be great, but I don't know if he's going to be able to. And now the tides have turned.
And that is going to be, that's a reversal. So
2 points for Fishers. Great move.
Maybe Schneider just looks weak here at the end here. Maybe.
Did he go too quickly, too early?
Yeah, maybe.
Did he go too fast, too quickly?
Yeah, I think he was looking for an early pin, and now it's the endurance is not as profound. He doesn't look as strong as he was, even at the beginning of the first period. So here we go.
I do have an update for us. J.D. Farrell is on deck.
Okay.
For Fishers, he is getting ready.
Well, that means
he has his warm-ups off, so that means oh wow, that was very close to a pin for Schneider. He has to get off of the bottom.
Yeah, so that I'm assuming this is Jen's ball we're seeing in here.
You can just make a switch.
Yeah, I think that means J.D. Farrell is going to be taking Devin Dudley.
Oh, here we go.
And here we go. And is he going to get the pin?
Yep,
and
that's
it.
it.
There's a pin.
Fishers is going to get it.
And that's going to be a much-needed victory, as it's going to be 22-12 now. And that's going to be Jen's wall. Yeah.
Just as we were saying, anything can happen in wrestling, and that's exactly what happened here. Just the complete. I mean, you had a huge advantage for HSE. Schneider looked like he was close to a pin. He was dominating, and then it all just falls apart. But this is one of the most interesting matchups of the night now, as you have Devin Dudley, who is 13-8 on the season, going up against number 4 in the state, J.D. Farrell. This is going to be one matchup to watch tonight.
Well, I think it looks like Dudley might be more suited to Farrell's competition, and maybe they thought Farrell would get a competitive edge by facing Dudley instead of Schneider.
Here in the 220 weight class, we are off. Both of these guys are moving fast, and it looks like Farrell has a little bit of an advantage just from the speed factor. Farrell goes for the leg, not quite able to get a grip. as these two guys are starting a very physical battle between these two.
Oh, jeez. And Farrell is very, very aggressive out the gate. He's got a lot of speed here, and he's using it to his advantage. As Dudley's a more physical guy, and now
maybe that's a good move for Fishers, moving him up a weight class, because you do get the speed. You may not get the raw power, but as a guy who is ranked number 4, we know he has power.
Yeah.
But you add in the speed of that could really, turn the tide for the team. As Farrell's going to get 2 points. Last year he won his Mudsock matchup, and he's looking for another Mudsock win here to cap off a very, very strong career for Fishers. I mean, the fact of the matter is you're going to see J.D. Farrell, Andrew Irick, you're going to see these guys at state, barring an injury. These guys will see each other again at some point, a lot of these guys. Because a lot of these guys are going to end up at state, semi-state, regional, somewhere in there.
Yeah. A lot of these guys are. A lot of these guys are going to be ending up wrestling at Bankers Life Fieldhouse come March. So it'll be fun to see who makes it.
As Farrell right now has Dudley in not a great position, and he is getting close to a pin.
And do you see what Dudley's doing here? I know he's about to get pinned. Hopefully he can get out of this, but it looks like this is something we actually used to do on the mat when I was wrestling. You see how he's using his
Dudley
head?
is fighting. Wow, what?
Yeah.
3 points there for Farrell, but, you got a damage control there for Devin Dudley. That's strong.
Yeah, well, as I was saying, they would teach us this. You know how he was using his head? The first thing they made us do in warm-ups, we had to, do that on the mat for an extended period of time. Just put our head to the mat in that position, and then you're supposed to use your head to avoid the pin. That was a great move by Dudley, just trying to avoid there, get a fresh start in the second period.
And Dudley escapes a ferocious start for J.D. Farrell and Fishers as they are trying to mount a comeback here. And I can't tell you how big a pin would be here for Fishers.
Oh, yeah. This is this would be a huge pin, and Dudley is determined to not let that happen. Obviously not expecting this matchup. It was a very, very bold move.
A move
Tristan.
of strategy for Fishers, and it looks like it's paying off for them to this point.
Yeah, well, we'll see how it pays off for them. It was a very bold move.
And Dudley's going to get a point on the escape, and that's the thing. Dudley is noticeably, just looking at the two guys, bigger than Farrell, so you do have that advantage, but Farrell's going to get 2 points for the takedown.
And here we go.
And that's another point escape for Dudley.
Dudley's fighting back. He looks better in this second period, and he takes him down, and that's going to be 2 for Farrell.
Wow, JD just overpowering there.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about with his speed. He's got this crazy combination of speed and strength that allows him to do things like that.
You just don't see that a lot in high school wrestling. Just the explosiveness.
Yeah, especially at, the 220 class.
Or even in the 195 class, you don't see that much, which is where he normally is.
Yeah.
But, you got to commend Fishers for this move if it pays off. As Farrell has Dudley's left arm pinned behind his back, that can't be comfortable for Dudley.
Yeah, and here we go. And he turned him over.
Oh, wow.
He's using his head. But trying to get out here.
Farrell has learned,
and that's going to be a pin.
J.D. Farrell, that's 2 pins in 2 years in the Mudsock, as he goes ahead and gets a big pin for Fishers. They now close the gap. It's now going to be 22-18. And now it's well, go ahead, Nate.
Well, this is, I was just about to say that was huge. 3 pins now in the last 2. This is wrestling, folks. It just comes back. They got a lot of favorable matchups coming their way, too. Of course, Krausor's back from injury, so they don't really know what Krausor is going to be doing. I think he'll surprise some people. Lightweight's going to be, that's going to determine who wins this. Let's see what happens
here. Here we go. We are in the heavyweights right now as we have Cone going up against Irick. This is going to be a good one.
And here we go, Irick, the IU commit.
These guys, Irick is the #2 wrestler in the state. A task for Max Cone, a task and a half, because Irick is one of the best wrestlers that I have personally seen.
Yeah.
Do it. He is. You wrestled with him.
Yeah, I did. Luckily not in his weight class or anything, but yeah, he was. This is exactly what he was doing to kids when he was 13, 14 years old. It's just, wrestling runs in the family.
It does. Both of his brothers went to IU for wrestling. He's going to IU for wrestling. Just the family aspect here. The Irick family are quite frankly legends here at HSE in the wrestling program.
And here we go. He's got him.
And he almost had a pin right there. As it is now 6-2 as the JV match has ended. Final score 51-27. That's a pin for Andrew. Irick makes quick work, pumping up the HSE crowd. Quick work of Max Cone.
1:08 left in the first period. Unreal
domination from Andrew Irick as he had it going on there, Nathan. That is absolutely just an incredible job. But let's go ahead and right now do a little bit of an ad break. Southeastern Sports Network made possible this year by Sky Zone and Fishers off 121st Street. Check out their hours at skyzone.com/Fishers. And Jimmy John's and Fishers on Ole Road is supporting Southeastern Sports Network's winter sports coverage this year. We want to give a shout out to Jimmy John's for their sponsorship, which brings you SSN's live winter sports coverage. Now we go to the 106 class from the heavyweights to the lightweights. I've always found this to be a very interesting thing that they do in wrestling. They go from the heavyweights to the lightweights. It's a very interesting contrast between the two of them. As now you have Matt Benson for the Royals, the sophomore, who is 16-4 in the year, against Anthony Riley. And we are off.
Here we go. This is lightweight is a lot of fun to watch because it is a lot of speed.
It is so much speed. Like blink and you'll miss it.
And here we go, just trying to feel each other out, get some wrist control there. I was telling you about that earlier. Here we go. Here we go, going to get the takedown. That's going to be 2 for Benson there. Great move, getting him in the air.
Yeah, Matt Benson has been a standout this year for the Royals. 16-4, a really, really good record.
Yeah, 16-4 on the year. He's a sophomore too. He's a lot like Ryan Cast and a lot of those guys where it's you just want to see what he's going to be like next year and even his senior year. Is he going to be a top wrestler in the state in his class, or what's going to happen?
In this year, you get Benson in here, and then you have to move up Sam Krausor in a weight class because last year Krausor was in the 106. And then you move Simone up another.
And here we go.
Move Simone up another weight class, and everyone gets moved up because of these guys.
And here we go, just trying to keep it.
Oh, that was very nearly a pin.
Yeah, and he found a second wind on his.
His second shoulder blade is almost touching the ground, and if he can flip him over, I think he has it.
And he's trying, but
Ty
Riley,
may be his enemy here with only with only about 10 seconds left. Oh, hold on a second.
Here we go.
If he can get it right before, this would be big. Oh, he very nearly had it.
And here we go.
Oh, he had it. But
and that's
time is the biggest adversary here for the Royals. But it's the saving grace for the Tigers.
But Benson is going to get another 3 there, so that's good.
And let's update you on the score after the Irick pin. It is now 28-18 as HSE has a 10-point lead. And as we've seen tonight, it's not hard to come back from that margin, but it is more difficult than it would be in other matches.
Yeah, yes, it would completely. And just a quick update: junior varsity has ended, and your Royals have won 51-27 in the junior varsity match. Good job, boys.
strong there.
And Benson with another takedown. He is leading 7-0 here.
Royals are on a bit of a hot streak after Eyrick, but it is Andrew Eyrick. You and I have known him for a long time. He has infectious energy.
Yeah.
And that really, whatever you're going through, whether it be class or just talking to him, you know that. I mean, he was he played offensive line. He played center for the football team. Had a knee injury. Has come back this year and has had an incredible wrestling season and still is undefeated now, 17-0 on the season.
Yeah.
You just have.
And here we go. Another pin.
And
possibly. He's trying to finish it off here. Can he get it? Can he get it? And yes.
2 pins in a row for HSE as Matt Benson goes ahead and pins Anthony Riley. So now HSE extends the lead. It will be 34-18.
And now in the 113 weight class, we got the lone freshman on varsity, Kyler Sapp, against one of the top. He's ranked in the state in the 113 class, Griffin Ingalls.
Kyler Sapp is 2-18 on the season. Not a great record on paper, but
he's a freshman.
This
is his first time.
Also, I cannot tell you how big of a win this would be if he was able to go ahead and pin or get good points against Griffin Ingalls.
Yeah. Here we go. And Ingalls is really going to challenge him here. This looks like it's a very fast-paced already. Let's see. He's trying to get the takedown, and he will. Ingalls is going to get 2 points on the takedown. And now we got...
Oh, this one could be another quick work. This may break Eyrick's time.
And no, it won't. He got over, and it's going to be 3, however, for Ingalls.
So extends the lead to 5-0 for Griffin Ingalls.
As it's going to be about the ground game now.
Ground game is not necessarily what you see a lot from the lower weight classes. You see usually a lot of up and fast-paced, but sometimes, I mean, you will see this ground action from the smaller guys.
Yeah, you will. And now he's got Sapp back on. Let's see if he's going to get the pin.
I think he got it. Oh.
No, not yet. He's looking. No, not yet.
Oh, he got it.
He got it.
Griffin Ingalls on the pin of Kyler Sapp. And now it is going to be 34-24 as they have been trading pins the last 3.
Now, Fishers is down 10, but we have 3 matchups left, and they're big ones. Jake Simone, Sam Krauser, and Gage Lloyd for HSE, and PJ Pritchett, Zach Struder, and Dylan Perotti for Fishers. Still left to go as we enter the 120-pound weight class. Got our senior, Jake Simone, 18-3 on the year versus Preston PJ Pritchett. But do wrestlers choose their own entrance song? Hips
I don't
Don't
know.
Lie by Shakira was just on.
That seems like a Jake Simone song,
it
knowing
does.
him.
And here we go. Simone's coming out right out of the gate.
Oh, what a move Jake Simone throws. Oh, wow, he just threw Pritchett to the ground. I mean, that's a way to tone set a matchup right there, Nathan.
Yeah, it is. It is. Here we go. And it is 2-0. Jake Simone, obviously, with the advantage here. Here we go. I'm trying to get him on the ground here. Trying to turn him. A lot of resistance here from Pritchett.
I mean, Simone is number 8 in the state right now. He finished 8th at the 113 class last season.
Yeah.
Maybe 8's a lucky number. And he has moved up a weight class. He was 113 last year, but because of the youth growing in, he's moved up a weight class to the 120s.
And he's doing a good job, as we can see here. 2-1, and of course
4-1 now.
Yeah, 4-1 with the takedown. if Simone gets the pin here, it'll be 40-24, meaning no matter what Fishers does in 126 and 132, they will not win.
So
this
if
match.
Simone can get a pin here, this is big, and Fishers is fighting for their lives here in this Mudsock. And based on the way the Mudsocks have gone this year, this would be huge for HSE to go ahead and win this one.
Yeah.
Losing both of the winter sports Mudsocks so far with both of them being close. Boys and girls basketball,
Of course.
swimming, which we have tomorrow night on SSN for you, is going to be big. But getting the first Mudsock of the calendar year, starting off the new year right, that's big for HSE, even starting off the decade right.
Yeah, this is the first Mudsock matchup of the 2020s as this rivalry enters its third decade but ends the first period of the 120-pound class.
As it is now 6-2 in favor of Jake Simone. Again, talking about swimming, that one is going to be another very highly tested. Both of these teams are very, very good. So both of these, I mean, you have two evenly matched teams in both sports. If you can go ahead and win these are big for your overall Mudsock. So if you, I don't know if we've ever explained this here on Southeastern Sports Network, but we're going to go ahead and explain it now. Throughout the 3 sports seasons, fall, winter, and spring, you're going to go ahead and get points of the Mudsock based on how many Mudsocks you win. So if you win football, you get a point. If you win volleyball, you get a point, so on and so forth with all the different sports. As Simone, it has a 9-3 lead. You have that happen where you get different points based on different sports, and whoever has the most at the end of the season takes home the overall Mudsock trophy. Fisher's only won the overall Mudsock one time.
That was the 2017-2018 school year, but other than that, HSE has won from 06-07 to 16-17, and then again last year. Although Fishers has a commanding lead this year, they could be winning for their second time.
Yeah, it really depends on how this is a very important to the overall Mudsock. So is swimming, and then you add in spring sports, and then you got a whole bunch. You got, baseball is going to be interesting. You have the reigning champions in HSE, and the 2 years ago the champions of Fishers. I mean, it's going to be a good one.
Oh yeah, and the spring, it's going to be a lot of fun.
But
great teams.
Back to the matchup at hand, Jake Simone and, oh, wow, what a move there by Simone, just able to pounce there.
And that's going to be 11-3 now as we got 40 seconds left in the second period.
He just explodes.
Yeah.
Jake Simone does, and it hits you before you can really react. For a little bit of a smaller guy, he is scrappy, and he fights hard, and he's a guy that you don't want to wrestle. If you're in that weight class, you do not want to wrestle Jake Simone.
Yeah, that's plain and simple. You don't want to wrestle him at all. And, of course, 18-3. That's the magic record there. So here we go. Time expiring on the second period. Doesn't look like he's going to be able to do much here. But in the third period, we could see a pin with the way this is going. And, of course, a pin
guarantees.
A pin guarantees an HSE victory. However, if Simone gets 4 points here, like it looks like he could do, that's also big because that would mean Fishers has a very
unlikely.
Yeah. Actually, if Simone gets 4 points here, Fishers cannot come back either because that would make a 14-point lead with 2 matches left. So. The magic number, I think, right now is 37.
Yeah.
37. If it's 37-24, we're done, folks. It's a guaranteed victory for HSE.
Because currently is 34-24. And there is a point for Fishers, as it is now 11-4.
Here we go. And
that's going to be 2 for Simone. Those are 2 big points. Every point is big now. In the grand scheme of things as we get closer to the end here.
Yeah, especially a lot of the team watching, all of the team watching actually since JV is done, and yeah, this is a big one. This could guarantee HSE wins a Mudsock matchup here that was much needed as Pritchett's going to get the escape 13-5 here in the third period. keeps on going, we're going to get to the foot game here, and on the feet here as they're in a little bit of a stalemate. Simone's going to go down low.
Just the speed of Jake Simone to get down low.
Yeah, but Pritchett did a good job there sprawling out, and that's going to be 2 for Simone on a takedown. So that is now 15-5. Can't get the takedown he wanted, but sorry, not takedown, pin that he wanted maybe, but he's doing a good job racking up those points.
And that's kind of what Jake Simone has done based on his time as a wrestler. Doesn't get overly too many pins, but is a points machine for HSE.
Yeah.
And that's, you need some wrestlers that can pin, but you also need wrestlers like Jake Simone that are just
dominant
point
throughout.
machines. Yeah.
It definitely helps that he's just getting takedown after takedown after takedown on Pritchett here.
More often than not, he has wide margins of victory.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Here we go, and that's an escape for Pritchett as it's going to be 15-6, cutting in to 9 points now with 40 seconds left. Here we go. Very quick battle here as Simone's trying to take him down, but Pritchett is on his feet now, and he might want to and he's going to be on his feet again.
Now, if you're Jake Simone, I'm assuming you know the scenarios.
Yes and no. You kind of form a little tunnel in your head. You're focused on what you're doing here. But I'm sure he's aware at this point that, he gets 3 points in this match and he wins, and it looks like he's going to do that as it's 15-6.
With 10 seconds left here in the third.
And here we go, and he's going to try to go, and that's another 2, so it's going to be 17-6. What?
As Simone is absolutely
there we go.
dominant, and he goes ahead and takes the win, and that may in fact guarantee a victory depending on how many points they're going to add, and they've made the magic number, Nathan.
They have made the magic number.
38-24, so that means HSE has locked up
Mudsock.
Yeah.
Of course, now these are just, these aren't meaningless matchups by any means. As we keep saying, it's a team sport and an individual sport. Krausor's actually got a great story coming back from an injury here.
SSN's own Sam Krausor.
Yeah, and so he's getting ready to make his comeback here, so there's a nice story to go here.
This guy, another one of the fast guys, another guy who's moved up weight classes, was in one of the lower weight classes last year, was the second lightest wrestler only to Jake Simone, and because of the young guys moving up, he's moved up 2 weight classes, and now here he is.
Yeah, and now fighting for wrist control there was not a lot of ground game there, as Krausor's got both his knees in braces, it looks like.
And he is facing Zack Struder for Fishers.
Krausor plays a unique combination of sports. He's he is a wrestler, but he is also on the boys varsity golf team in the spring.
Yeah, and that has to help you. I mean, being a dual sport athlete definitely helps you, and I know part of what the golf team does to train, and it is more physical than I think a lot of people would expect.
Yeah, I would assume. And Struder gets
now has
2.
a 2-0 lead on Sam Krausor. This is Sam Krausor's final Mudsock as a senior, and I know he wants to go ahead and win this one.
Yeah, he does. He's a senior coming back from injury. Not much wrestling he has done today, this season. Yeah, and so
and there's
here
an
we go.
escape there from Krausor, but they mark it to
3-0.
Yeah, I thought it should have been 2-1, but okay.
All right. Well,
I think they may be editing the scoreboard. Yeah,
yes.
they are.
Okay. Yeah, it's going to be 2-1. Oh, sorry, 4-1. Well,
2-1. There we go.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool.
Final decision. And there's 2 for Krausor.
And he's
so
going to take the lead.
3-2.
Yep.
Andrew Eyrich yelling to Sam Krausor.
Here we go. And it looks like Struder he's really trying to escape. He was trying to get out of that wrist lock there, but unfortunately couldn't break his hands apart soon enough. And here we go. We're going to go into the second period of the second to last matchup. Of course, we still have Gage Lloyd, the sophomore, with 15-9 on the year versus Dylan Perotti for Fishers in the 132 class. But as a team, both of these matches don't mean much.
It's an escape for Streeter. 3-3.
It's even. This is a pretty good matchup here. And it's just kind of been a stalemate, but
just back and forth, these two guys.
Here we go, and he's going to push. He's trying to push him out, and Krausor's going to get back in. He's fighting, but it looks like Struder's got the control, and as Struder tried to grab for the leg, take him down, and
just kind of runs out of real estate there.
Yeah, that happens. They're going to lock up again. Here we go, fighting for wrist control, and let me just tell you, whoever wins this one,
they're gonna earn it.
Yeah, this is definitely a tough one.
This is another one that's gonna go to 3 sets, and pretty much every matchup except for a few has gone to 3 sets.
Yeah.
I think there have been 3 or 4 that have not gone to 3, but every other one has gone to 3 sets. It's either it's very early a pin, or a full round.
That's the reality of wrestling. I think there's not many. It's either done real quick or it's a battle throughout. So, I think the most common time to pin is definitely that first period. Once you're in the second period, you're kind of in for the long run, and you should just expect to keep getting rack up those points.
Second period's almost survival.
Yeah, it is. All of this is survival, but.
Just trying to save yourself maybe for later, as there is now 20 seconds left here in the second, and we are tied. As
that is going to be. Here we go.
And that's going to escape. That's going to be 2
for Struder.
Yeah.
Here we go.
HSE bench not looking.
Well, now look at that. The clock has run out. Time was on Krausor's side there.
Krausor just looks wiped.
He does. That's like you said, first match back. Probably still getting used to being out there again.
Having been injured in my career, and I played football, I didn't wrestle. 2 completely different sports, as we've mentioned, but it does take a while coming back from injury. It does take a while to get back. I mean, you can practice as much as you want, but nothing compares to the actual game. What is this, Nathan?
Well, this is definitely an interesting move here, Tristan. It's a bold strategy he's taken.
Oh, I don't think it's going to work.
And it looks like he on the verge of getting pinned here. No, Krausor's back on his stomach, and that's going to just be 2 more points for Struder. 7-3.
It's going to be 7-3. So if you're Sam Krausor, do you try to go for the pin, or do you just try to go for damage control, knowing that you already have?
Well, I think he wants to win this game just to get back some of that momentum. But as it looks,
that's a pin.
There's a pin there. As Krausor's return doesn't go as planned, but he doesn't necessarily fail. Definitely had some bright moments, and I can't wait to see what he does in the future.
And Nathan, let's go ahead and go to another commercial. Southeastern Sports Network is made possible by Sky Zone Fishers this year. Come in and fly with them this winter. Sky Zone Fishers off 121st Street, reminding you to have fun and fly safe. A big shout out to Sky Zone, who is sponsoring every broadcast for all 3 sports seasons this year for SSN. And Jimmy John's and Fishers on Olean Road is supporting Southeastern Sports Network's winter sports coverage this year. We want to thank and give a shout out to Jimmy John's for their sponsorship, which brings you SSN's live winter sports coverage. And now let's go back to the mats as we have our final matchup of the night: Gage Lloyd versus Dylan Perotti. There's a little party in the US. They there.
Oh, interesting. I think they do choose those songs, so that's fun.
Kind of like walk-up music in baseball. It's interesting. It kind of shows the personality of the wrestler a little bit.
Yeah.
Or they just want to mess with the crowd, which is also very possible.
Yeah, I think that was Simone's goal there with Hips Don't Lie, but here we go. Ooh, tough one.
Yeah, Lloyd not in the best position in the world. Perotti has him in a little bit of a difficult situation. But it looks like that Lloyd had wrist control there. Looks like Perotti reached for the right wrist there. Maybe a little bit of a... Maybe that's a little bit uncomfortable for him.
Yeah, definitely.
I saw J.D. Farrell before this even started shaking around his right hand a little bit, and when we didn't see him come out, I thought he may have had a hand injury, but he definitely looked fine. So.
Oh, he was definitely fine. He pinned Dudley down.
But as is now 38-30, HSE has secured the victory. But if there is a pin here, it will be 38-36, which will still be an HSE victory, but not as close. And from the competition aspect, you want to win as big as you can.
Yeah.
As a competitor, I mean, you play to win the game, yeah. In the words of Herman Edwards.
Yeah. And now it looks like it's still scoreless here, Tristan.
Yeah.
30 seconds left in the first.
Oh, there we go.
There's a astounding score there.
Funny you say that, Nathan, as Gage Lloyd may be listening to us out there saying, you know what, Nathan, I'm going to prove you wrong. As he goes ahead and gets 2 there, and 2-0 here in the 134 weight class with 12.4 seconds left in the first period.
Here we go. Back, and Lloyd started up on top there, and
Perotti just trying to fight to get out of this one, but this one is going to prove to be difficult.
And here we go, the end of the first period.
2-0 in favor of Gage Lloyd, but an emphatic 2 at that. As it is youth wrestling night here, as there are a lot of wrestlers from HSE, from HJH, from Fall Creek Junior High, from Riverside Junior High, and from Fishers Junior High, all here tonight to cheer on their high school wrestlers, as they will eventually be a high school wrestler at some point.
Yeah, a lot of them will. I mean, I went to my youth night here at the high school, and I didn't go on to high school as a wrestler. So
some of them will.
A lot of them will. Yes, a lot of them will, and it'll be fun. They probably saw some of those junior high kids that they might be facing.
But you're up here with us, and we love having you up here. So
of course,
it's good. It's good to have you, Nate.
Yeah.
But let's go ahead and get back to the action. Gage Lloyd still has the 2-0 lead with 1:23 here left in the second. Again, if you're just joining us, some of the big moments tonight: Andrew Eyrich with an emphatic pin, Ronan Heiner's victory, a hard-fought one. Jake Lemieux capping off the night with a big pin. You have J.D. Farrell from Fishers getting a pin over Devin Dudley after moving up a weight class. There have been a lot of interesting storylines here tonight, Nathan.
Yeah, and it's been a close one. HSE, of course, going to walk away with this one, but Fishers, they should be proud of themselves. A lot of them should. It was a pretty good match for them. I mean, look at the scoreboard. It's 38-30. It definitely wasn't a blowout by any sort. Still 2-0. Very low scoring. Coming off a Jake Simone matchup just a few minutes ago.
Oh, here we go. Gage Lloyd may make quick work of this one and may send everyone home early.
No.
Nope. Spoke too soon. But 3 points there for Lloyd, as it is now 5-0.
There we go, and Lloyd's just kind of he's been in control this whole match.
Perotti just trying to get any advantage he can, but so far he has had none.
Here we go. Just trying to turn him over here.
That's going to be the end of the second period. 5-0 in favor of Gage Lloyd. And the last period of the night is going to start right now. HSE has guaranteed a victory, 38 points to 30 currently. That will change here with this result. But HSE has secured a win, and a big win in the mud sock category, Nate.
Yes, they have a much-needed win as Fishers has taken quite the lead. I do think personally that they will walk away with the mud sock trophy with the lead they built, but who knows? HSE could come back and win, and of course they did. Wrestling did their job. Let's see if swimming does theirs tomorrow, and let's see if the spring sports do theirs. And
I got some faith in HSE. I mean, both basketball games were close. And the thing that I've said the entire year about the Fishers HSE matchup is no matter what sport it is, no matter the skills of the two sports, it's always going to be close because of the rivalry between these two teams. The fastest way to have close games between two teams, a rivalry matchup.
Exactly. A lot of rivalry matchups. You see it in rivalry week in college football. It doesn't matter about the record anymore. You just want to beat your opponent. I
mean, why do you think the Jets beat the Patriots so much in the early 2010s, even though they were not the superior team? It's because of the rivalry competition.
And, it sparks them up. It does.
Right now Gage Lloyd has a 7-0 lead with about 40 seconds left here in the third. He's got a win in the bag as long as he cannot get pinned here and hold on, and we'll get 4 more points for HSE. And he may be able to get 6 here if he can get Parodi in a position.
Doesn't look like he's going to be able to do that, but let's see. Owen, look at that. A takedown, and Parodi is on the board.
But maybe a little bit too late here, Nate, as only 13 seconds remain here in the third period.
And you got to,
5.7 seconds left here tonight in the mud sock wrestling match. And HSE is going to go ahead and walk away with a victory. Just an overall really, really great effort from the HSE Royals.
Yeah, and you got to give Fishers a lot of credit as well. Had a pretty outstanding performance, kept it close, but ultimately HSE was just the better squad out there tonight, and we are going to see an HSE victory.
And as finishes off with a somersault from Lloyd as he goes ahead and takes the win. Final score, 41-30 in favor of the Hamilton Southeastern Royals, and that is all she wrote for the mud sock wrestling matchup. Nathan, we saw some fantastic battles tonight. We saw some exciting pins. We saw a few quick victories. Some go into late stages. We saw blowouts. We saw close ones. We had everything here tonight.
Yeah, we did. It was a really fun one to watch. I haven't watched a wrestling match in a long time, and that was a great one to watch. Really, my favorite performance was still Irick with his pin. That match lasted like a minute.
Less than that. I mean,
yeah, it just goes to show you this kid is going to be something special at IU. Last mud sock
one of the most respected too in Indiana high school wrestling.
Yes, he is. I think they know his family. They know the track record, and of course, they
know he's a monster.
Yeah, I believe that ends the Irick family legacy here at the mud sock game, as I don't think any more Iricks are going to be here. It's truly an end of an era.
But that is all over for HSE as they take the win 41-30 here in mud sock wrestling. We want to thank you for joining us here in Southeastern Sports Network for our very first broadcast of the season. Make sure to tune in tomorrow night as we have swimming. I will be with you again along with Turner Graves and our cameraman Zach Vance. And for Zach Vance and for Nathan Goergen, my name is Tristan Fluhr, signing off and saying have a great night.